also sharing the recordings, and it's a wonderful space. I've loved both the features that came up, and I was lucky enough to have seen both of them at different events. Like John, I saw you at Spit Poetry, and then Joe, I've seen you in Moonstone. So thanks, guys. Your sets were awesome, so I appreciate it. All right. Who is an artist, an artist, an artist? I am an artist, an artist, an artist. This world's full of artworks and art forms and artists. Could you be an artist? Are you too an artist? If you have a mind and a body to start with, then you have what anyone needs to make art with. But not making art does not mean you are artless. Because life is an art, so all living are artists. I used to have a pencil and a paintbrush. But these days, I don't pencil, I don't paint much. Like a keyboard with keys, I don't play much. The change isn't me, but the keys have the same touch. Everyone has something that they made once. A little piece of themselves that they've saved us. We're so different, but then sometimes a way comes where we show each other different ways we're the same ones. All are born with a gift none can hand them, a passion, a talent that no one can grant them. Whether we scatter these seeds or we plant them, fill them with love so that love can expand them. And if you can dance, do a dance then. And if you can't dance, groove where you stand then.
Come on.
If he can sing and she can play, they can jam then. If we can be the audience and help understand them. If you can help do something beautiful, then it's not only fun, but it's dutiful.
Yes.
You may be visual, theatrical, or musical, or maybe just hilarious. All gifts are usable. Your gift may be unusual, but if it's suited well to others, then it's suitable. If it doesn't suit others, thank them that they're truthful. But if it moves even one person, it is useful. So create, so create, so create. But first make it good. That is better than just great. An artist may not feed you better than the bread you ate, but gave you instead bread they made from your empty plate. It's not the magic, but the love that should resonate. That we would do this work to bring you joy in your present state. An artist's wish to give light can be a heavy weight. But maybe we became artists because we love to help you elevate. Or maybe I just do this for my sanity. Just to dance before there's anyone to dance with me. Being sane doesn't mean afraid of fantasy. Where I can be who I am, but play with what cannot be. But still I stand where reality can stand with me. Hold hands in dreams, but awake, both my hands are free. An artist is such a deep lover of humanity that even in our solitude, we draw where human hands could be. Because there is proof of unity wherever art is. There is proof of love wherever art is. If art is only where more than one human heart is. There is proof of unity wherever art is. If everyone has loved something made by an artist. So if you have a mind and a body to start with, then you have what anyone needs to make art with. But not making art does not mean you are artless. Because life is an art. So all living are artists. Thank you. I've never done this piece before. Well, I've never performed this piece before.
You should.
But thank you. But it's something that that I'd like to have shared, so I'll share. I feel like I'm at a crossroads, a crossroads, a crossroads. I wish instead of choosing, I could join both crossroads. I'd love to believe in no right roads or wrong roads, but only one long road in which are drawn all roads. But still I feel like I'm at a crossroads, a crossroads, a crossroads. Something I must choose or not choose, should have chose or not chose. But I just want to rest with no more need to cross roads. So I look for a straight path that has curves but not holes. Still, whether I go this way or whether I go that way, I've learned the front way is usually better than the back way. I've learned the slow way is usually truer than the fast way. But not too slow. Life cannot wait till the last day. I ask people for advice. They point me this way or that way. But really, it's just their way of saying there's a pathway. I cannot follow others home, so my home's the last way. But 2 feet on 2 paths make everywhere feel like halfway. But I'm inspired by the people who I meet on my path's way. Their warmth lights my spirit like a sun-cast ray. They feel the same warmth from me. Now what does that say? May I remember that and not curse the world on a bad day. I look around and see where there is kindness, there is happiness. And then I think, oh, I get it. Kindness brings us happiness. But sweetness loses sweetness when it's sappiness. If saying life is sweet sounds sweeter when it actually is. I could say do no harm, to preach it and to practice it. But who in this life has not done harm, and not by accident? But making a mistake doesn't mean no good comes after it. And to make a wrong right, you don't have to be its advocate. Being a part of the problem doesn't mean you can't help tackle it. Like being astray from a way doesn't mean you can't come back to it. I may not always face the sun. That doesn't mean I turn my back to it. I can never be as bright, but that doesn't mean my light can't add to it. So, whether I go this way or whether I go that way, may I find a good way that's also a glad way. If everything were only good, I would like it that way. But even in my doubt, I know good will have the last say. Because of the people who I meet on my path's way. Your warmth lights my spirit like a sun-cast ray. You may feel the same warmth from me. Now what does that say? Wherever this good feeling is, I want to go that way. So, my mom likes this piece. I know why. It's called self-care. Is your behind washed? Is your face clean? Is your bed made? Is your space clean? Is your heart healthy? Is your plate lean? Are your debts paid? Is your slate clean? Thank you. Does your brain fart? once in a while. But you're lucky if you can freestyle. So I'll put that piece on pause and move on to another one. So thank you. How would you know? I haven't done it yet. But thank you. I heard someone say that time waits for no man. Time waits for no man. Whether you're a fast man or whether you're a slow man. Whether you're a young man or whether you're an old man. You may be a woman or say you are no man, but time's face is no man's and won't let the quote stand. But instead of fear, I find comfort in the slogan that even though time seems to slip through my own hand, I've never known a time when my hourglass had no sand. If I try to think of a beginning or an end of time, it cannot be eternal without blending with the present time. If I say there's only now and there was never time, how does that explain these memories in this head of mine? Memories are more than signs of a better time, because I remember people, places, more than I remember time. Good things that happened, I hope happen every time. But as long as they have happened once, they are forever mine. Forever is a strong word. I cannot grasp it. My life's already longer than the brief time I have had it. So just to understand it, I try looking at it backward. The only proof I have that time exists is that I've lasted. Time cannot be touched, but still I feel it as I pass it, until I see I wasn't moving past it, but moving as it. Time is not an object, but the light in which it's casted. If I'm always looking through it, but I'm never looking at it. I may say time, but most times I don't mean time. Between time and space, there's real life in the meantime. I use measurements to cut a corner to a clean line, but even the straightest line is curvy to a keen eye. We use clocks to agree times to meet by, but their tick is too fast for heartbeats to beat by. Their tick is too slow for thought trains that speed by. Their rhythm's too rigid to live and breathe by. So whether it is less than or more than a second, a moment is more than a word for a second. A memory is more than a word for a record. Experience is first, the word for it comes second. Because I was born before time had form or dimension, before I counted moments by their order in succession. If a rolling stone could gather moss that grows and keeps collecting, soon it would look like hills are rolling where a stone was stepping. If time is like a small seed that's smaller than a seed, that grows into a tall tree that's taller than a tree, but when it's like a forest and it's hard for me to see, I remember that it sprouted from a garden within me. So if I try to think of a beginning or an end of time, it cannot be eternal without blending with the present time. Good things that happen, I hope happen every time. But as long as they have happened once, they are forever mine. So how are we doing?
You're at 14 minutes. So.
Okay. I'll probably do 2 more pieces. I go over the top and under the bottom, side to side, around the sides, and slalom, back to back and front to front with all in, through and through to follow through, resolving. To and fro, the constant flow is calming. Up and down, then up and still evolving. Near behind, far, far ahead, and near behind we're calling. Outside in, then inside out, absolving. When I think a problem's beyond solving, I may take a moment's grace for pausing. I remember problems long forgotten, yet I am here and earth is still revolving. Almost all the gifts that I have gotten were here for me before I even thought them. I did not ask for stars, but still I got them. I did not make the sun, how small my offering. Mysteries that seem too deep for talking, but inside my mind repeats them often. Then something happens, real life keeps on calling. So I keep a smile, keep on walking. Over the top and under the bottom. Side to side, around the sides and slalom. Back to back and front to front, all in. Through and through to follow through, resolving. Or maybe this is just my means of stalling. Wanting something just to ease my wanting. But as long as my heart is beating, throbbing, I proceed with care, with peace and caution, hoping someday all mistakes will soften. Time will heal and may reveal what caused them. But as long as I have choice, I have no option. Errors are the only names I have to call them. Still I do not sink in wells I draw from. Spots in my reflection help me spot them. Birthmarks on my body since I got them. Yet if I had a map, I could not draw them. All these hairs are growing, hairs are falling. All these cells are shedding, some are bonding. My chest is heaving while the earth is rocking. Sleeping, watching over without watching. But people come and go and doors keep knocking. Clocks keep ticking, tocking, ringing, stopping. Counting back to keep this world prolonging. But it's worth it just to see this morning dawning. Time for waking, washing, shaking, offing. Sounds of chirping, working, neighbors talking. Sounds of singing, playing, babies yawning. As we all wake up to another day in common.